One of the biggest mistakes Rocket League players make is understanding the concept of challenging. This not only includes when and how to challenge, but also understanding what outcome is considered good or bad depending on the when and how. For example, not every challenge you make that wins the ball is considered a good outcome. This is, of course, prevalent in the lower ranks, but still happens in the higher ranks too. In this video, we'll take a look at challenges made by champs in their games, tallying up the amount of incorrect and correct challenges they make in one game, as well as examples on how to improve the challenges. This looks like a bad challenge because the ball falls to the opponent's mate and he has full boost and your mate has no boost. If we go back, we can see that mate doesn't have boost. This typically means that you should play slow and buy some time for mate to get boost before you challenge. However, we're in a position where we can't really afford to play it slow because the ball is traveling really quickly along the wall. This means that we have to intercept and challenge this ball as quickly as possible, because if we don't and play it slow, the opponent can make a dangerous aerial play as you're rotating back. The issue is that you air roll, which, in my humble opinion, made it slower for you to approach the ball to effectively beat the oncoming challenge. What you needed to do was try to approach the ball whilst your car is still backwards. This doesn't waste any time and efficiently gets you to the ball quicker than the opponent compared to air rolling. The issue here is that you 50 the right side of the ball and the opponent hits the ball on the bottom left. This causes the 50 to pop high back to your own net, putting you on defense. Whenever you go for a 50, you have to think about where you'd like the ball to end up. In this position, you'd want the ball to 50 towards the left wall. Why? Because it will allow you to grab mid boost if needed, and then you'll be able to make some sort of play off the ball. To achieve this, we need to pay attention to how the opponent will approach the ball. Here, we can see that the opponent is going to approach it from the bottom left. So if we approach the ball directly center, as shown in this example, we can push the ball towards the left, which gives us a favorable bounce and an open net. Not the best connection, but still okay. I know the opponent's second man was in the corner too, but you can't let the opponent just go through like that here. As you can see, he manages to get through your mate in net simply because your mate is thrown off when the opponent just casually gets past you. You were the first line of defense, but it was as though you were invisible. Here, you just simply had to challenge in any way, preferably backflip into him and prevent the ball from going through towards net. This was a strange one because your positioning to give yourself an easier challenge opportunity was not great. However, your challenge decision in terms of delaying the challenge was great because the mate is not back and has no boost. Here's an example of how you could have positioned better to give yourself an easier challenge. Your mate gets demoed, which means he's going to be far away from the play. This means he will need time to get boost and reposition. The issue is that once the ball was in the air, it seemed like you took a bit too long to go for the ball. You needed to go the moment you took that boost pad. That would have made sure you got to the ball before the opponent and would have made life easier for your second man. Had to go for it again since mate had no boost and was rotating back. I understand that you're losing, no boost, and don't have much time left. But here, especially with no boost, it's very high risk to commit simply because it takes a long time to get back and help out mate. It doesn't mean you can't or shouldn't challenge in this context, but you could have fake challenge and that wouldn't have taken you out of the play completely. I know it's just desperate gameplay right now, but for educational purposes, this is incorrect due to mate still being in front of you, and if the opponent flicked earlier, it would have been a goal. Alright, so we move on to game number 2. As the first man, you challenge correctly here to prevent the opponent from getting past, which could cause problems for your mate. Really good 50 challenge here. Lower ranks might jump and try to challenge midair, which is likely to result in a dunk possibility or a 50-50 dead ball, which isn't good because the opponent's second man will likely pick up the ball. However, by delaying the challenge and waiting for the ball to drop close to the ground, makes it harder to get dunked as you're able to get your car more over the ball for more coverage. This makes it likely for you to win the 50 because the opponent is descending and won't be able to get their car over the ball the lower the ball drops for a strong 50. The challenge here isn't correct because we've misunderstood our role in this very position. When your mate pops the ball up, it lines up perfectly for the opponent to take a shot towards your empty net. Here, we hesitate because we're not sure if we should retreat or turn around and challenge. Eventually, we decide to turn around and challenge, but it's too late, but not bad. Why is it not bad? Because the opponent takes too long to take a shot on the open net, which allows your mate to recover enough to retrieve possession when he does eventually boom it. So, what should be the correct play if the opponent were to shoot directly on net as early as possible? Here, you could have been more prepared for your mate's touch. You keep an eye on your mate to see what he's going to do. Once you see him take a heavy touch, you can aerial immediately to make a touch on the ball. This somewhat prevents the opponent from taking a clean shot on net. Another option is to immediately speed flip back to cover net. If you do that quick enough, your mate would see you've gone back to cover net, which means your mate would cut his own rotation and challenge the opponent if they end up not shooting at all. And if they do shoot early, you've gone back already to retrieve possession. This was a good challenge given that it was a 2v1 and the ball was very awkward to deal with. The only issue with this challenge was that you took a while to challenge because the ball was understandably awkward. But that meant your mates felt they had to challenge too, in case you wasn't going to get there in time. So, how do we deal with an awkward ball and clear it to safety without the risk of a double commit? This isn't easy to mechanically pull off, but what you needed to do was aerial the moment the ball is hit over your head. And you needed to try your best to read the trajectory and the wall bounce to get it clear to either the left or right corner. If you can master this and get comfortable with doing this, it will massively level you up defensively. This isn't too bad. You do well in not challenging and being aggressive too quickly because your mate has no boost and was stuck in the opponent's net. However, you do take a bit too long to challenge the moment the opponent was in your corner. At that point, it's safe to assume mate is back and ready to follow up if you do challenge. As you can see in this example, if you challenged a bit earlier, the moment the opponent comes down from the corner, you would have prevented an issue where you clear the ball upwards, which makes it somewhat awkward for your mate to deal with. So here is the comparison between Champ 2 and Champ 3. I know it's only a one game sample from each rank, but it is interesting to see the difference here. One thing we can probably take from this is style of plays. The Champ 2 player seems a lot more aggressive in their challenging, whereas the Champ 3 player could be seen as a more patient challenger. Or maybe you could see the Champ 3 as more experienced in knowing that not every ball should be challenged and that the opponent will likely just give the ball away for free. Let me know what else you think could be the difference between the two. And thank you for watching.